clap them down low. Sit down. Yep. Simon says clap them down low. Simon says snap your right finger. Simon says snap it down. Now raise your left hand. Perfect. Sit there. You already sitting. Now sit down, my man. I saw you. Should still be snapping. Should still be snapping. All right. Simon says stop snapping. Simon says look to the person to your left. Simon says look to the person to your right. Simon says smile. Simon says smile with the teeth showing. Sit down. No teeth. Sit down. No teeth. I'm gonna check them grills. Sit down, boy. You ain't even smiling. Sit down. I don't see any teeth. I don't see any teeth. I don't see one of them. Sit down. All right. Y'all doing pretty good. Simon says stop smiling. Simon says clap one time. Simon says clap 2 times. Clap 3 times. Yep, sit down. Yep, got it. Now listen. Let's see. Now listen. All right, Simon says thank this young man for a great introduction.
Thank you. Thank you, young man.
All right, everyone who's standing, let's give him a round of applause. Simon, let's say that you all out. Yep. All right, have a seat. Now, Simon says have a seat. All right, there you go. Good job. Now, what I'm going to do. Simon done now, man. I appreciate that, though. So, now, here's what I need. My name is Mr. Bryant. I only have one rule, and that's the rule of respect. Respect simply means that whoever is speaking at the time, which I call the microphone, that means we're going to listen to that person. So that we only listen to one person at one time. And I know there's someone around here that likes to talk an awful lot. I'm cool with that when it's time to talk. I'm not cool with that when it's time not to talk. Understand? All right. So, when you have a question, when you have a concern, when you want to say something, what you have to say is so important to me, I will stop my entire presentation to come and address you because it's going to be very interactive. So instead of me telling you about myself and who I am, well, I have video that'll do that for me.
One of the most, I think, important encounters with him was when I first met him. I was, a Southside Chicago kid, and SAG, and, didn't really like authority. Mr. Bryant came to me and said, hey man, I think you should pull your pants up. I was like, and the look of discernment that he had, the look of like, did this kid just disrespect me, was the blossoming of probably one of the most influential relationships of my whole life. Mr. Bryant has been a rock in my corner since forever. I remember nights calling him at school, like, Mr. Bryant, I can't do it, I want to give up. No pity, no sorrow. You need to be a successful black man, so you can do what comes with that. And coming with that is graduating from college. I can't thank him enough. He's been such an inspiration as far as me getting the law, as far as me graduating. I think he was almost like a second dad, and for that I'm forever grateful. He's a great man.
When I graduated high school, I went to college on a full academic scholarship. Vision will keep you focused. Vision will say, I can't stop that, I can't drop that, I can't pop that, because you know where you're going in your life, so you can't do certain things.
Dwayne, I gotta come hang with you in Chicago. Will you let me do that next time I'm in town?
You should do that.
God basically is a manifestation of your relationship. So that when people see your relationship, they see an expression of God. Again,
Are you trying to take my job?
when y'all get a vision,
Welcome back, Chicago. Welcome back. Now today I'm going to answer the age-old question. Who is the smartest?
Dwayne Bryant is one of the greatest MCs and hosts that you've ever ready to your platform. I've hosted parenting conferences, which host over 6,000 people annually for the last 3 or 4 years. I hosted the Drive Award, which is the largest teacher recognition in the state of Illinois. Not only do I MC, I entertain, I dazzle, I thrill, I motivate. It's just like when I'm on the stage and when I'm on that microphone, I absolutely love it.
Bryant, the book is The Stop, Improving Police and Community Relations. It's got a workbook for parents, for kids to work on. You're doing great stuff in the community, so critical. Thank you, sir.
If you raise your child, you instruct your child, they need to know respect, they need to know accountability, responsibility, they need to know that from the home. So what I want to do is not only relay this message to the community, but also to law enforcement as well, because they have a responsibility. And I believe law enforcement have more of a responsibility because they're trained. In my household, my father walked out on my mom with 6 kids. My daddy would always promise he's going to come over, he's going to pick us up, he's going to take us shopping, but he never did, and he lived less than 15 minutes away. As fathers, what we do has a huge impact. Dads, we got to get our kids, our young people, our children excited about being smart. And you have a parent to tell you, if somebody hits you, kill back. Raise your hand.
I'm one of the many students who Mr. Bryant has worked with over the years, and I think that my most memorable moment with Mr. Bryant was, I think I was in high school, and he asked me to sing in front of all of my peers, and I'm like, dude, are you crazy? Like, I said it to my head. I'm like, are you crazy? I'm not gonna sing in front of all these people. My heart is already beating out of my chest because you even thought to ask me that. But he, took me to the side for a quick second and like, you can do this, and, just quickly encouraged me, and before you know it, I was singing in front of everyone. And I think that's just a test to who Mr. Bryant is as a person. He is an encourager, he is a supporter, and I think that sometimes as millennials, we're thrown away and we're deemed as and labeled as lazy and ungrateful. But I think that we just need these leaders and positive examples who show us the way and instill these values in us, because it's very hard to be the first at anything. And if I wanted to become a doctor, but no one in my family has done it before or even been in college, it's very hard and it's discouraging. But Mr. Bryant makes you feel when he speaks to you or when he comes to a conference or anything, he makes you feel like you can do anything, and he will tell you and let you know that anything that you want to do, anything that you aspire to do, anything that you want to just try, you can do it.
All right, so I put that introduction together because it tells you a whole lot. I've been in this business for 24 years. I'm actually from Florida. Grew up in Ethanville, Florida, graduated from Florida International University, and started my business in 1997 before most of you guys were even born. And I've been working with young people. My company, we've had the opportunity to mentor and to motivate over 20,000 young people. So that's a lot of young people that come through our program. So I'm really excited to be here. Last night I landed at the Fort Lauderdale Airport at about 11:15. I got a rental car. I drove right out here to Singer Island. I'm staying at the Marriott. Got there about 1 o'clock this morning. Went to sleep, woke up, and I'm here to be with you guys this morning. So what I'm going to need from you guys is energy, because my energy is halfway. All right? You won't know, but I know. So I'm going to need to be able to feed off of your energy. Now, one thing I want to share with you guys is one thing that makes me very proud. You heard from 2 of my former students. One guy, Dakari. Y'all remember the big guy in the beginning? I met Dakari when he was a 5th grader. Dakari was about 5 feet 8 inches and almost 180 pounds in 5th grade. He was a big boy. And when I talked to him, I said, man, yo, what's up with them pants? I think you should pull those pants up. He was like, you ain't my dad. You know what I'm saying? I was like, oh, okay. So we talked, and this boy stood up and stood right in my face and was like, you don't tell me what to do. So guess what? What did I do? Who can tell me? What did I do? Yes, sir.
You told the police.
I told the police?
No, you talked to him and finally
Okay. Exactly. Now, why would I call the police on him?
Because he did not, are you honest?
Yeah, never. Never. Because if I can't correct that situation myself, shame on me. All right? There was no reason to call the police on him. None at all. All right, so I want to introduce you to a few of my students, right? Now, Ian Atiku. What's his name? Only one person know it. What's his name? Ian Atiku. This brother right here. This brother was homeless in high school. And when he graduated high school, he graduated with a $468,000 college scholarship. How is that possible? How can you be homeless, you stay focused, you keep your grades up, and you graduate with a full scholarship to Columbia College? Who can tell me, how's that possible? Yes, ma'am. Oh, I forgot to tell you. When you move, that means you have an answer. If you playing in your hair, you have an answer. If you scratching your head, you have an answer. If you digging in your nose, you have an answer. Please don't eat your books. All right? That's just an answer. Okay. So, yes, ma'am. How is it that this brother, high school, homeless, and still managed to keep his grades up and go to college?
Because that's the only thing he was focused on, was making sure that he could get into a good college and keep his grades up, because that's all that mattered.
Interesting. What do you think many other high school students are focused on?
Just the life of high school, they get caught up.
Okay. Get caught up in what?
Like drama and all that.
Drama. All right. What kind of drama is there in high school? How would you know? You've never been. I'm talking to my experts. Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am. Fights and arguments. Why are people going to high school to be fighting and arguing? I can't hear you. Revenge. Okay, is that a waste of time or is that a productive use of time? Absolutely. Let me introduce you to someone else. Ashley. Ashley graduated high school, went to Vanderbilt. Ashley had a $500,000 scholarship. $500,000. You think she got caught up in drama? You think she was worried about who's the cutest? You think she was worried about who this boy liked and who that boy don't like? Not at all. So when I share these stories, is because here's the deal. How many of you want to graduate high school? Raise your hand. Almost everyone. How many of you want to graduate high school and go to college? Raise your hands. All right, almost everyone. How many of you want to get paid to go to college? Raise your hands. All right, look around. Now, hands down. This is what I know. I know that young people only want to hear from adults when they've done what they're telling you to do. Because a lot of grown-ups tell you guys, go to school, get your education, they can't even hardly read. I get that. So you want to make sure that if you listen to someone, they've already done what they're telling you to do. So I'm going to share some information about myself because I graduated high school on a full academic scholarship. I never played sports. I'm smart. Yep, never played sports. I look like I did. I know, I got that. But I've always been smart. I love smart people. Dumb people make me nervous. So if you're dumb, don't worry about it. Just keep looking forward. And I'll never know it's you. All right? Now, there's one other student I want to introduce you to. Her name is Nadia Ferrer. And I'm going to let her tell you who she is.
I'm here with Nadia Bryant. How long have I known you? That's about fifth grade. How long have I known your brother? Same thing? Yeah. All right, Nadia is a senior here at Southland. Why don't you tell us? Who are you?
I'm the valedictorian, first graduating class, National Honor Society Vice President, I'm a boss.
She's a boss. What's a boss?
Nadia Herrera.
That's what I'm trying to say. And how much money do you have in college scholarships?
Around $891,000.
Everything.
How much? $891,000. That was up until that time. That was up until February. When she actually graduated high school, Nadia had over $1,086,000 in college scholarships.
So she was rich.
Was she rich? She was able to pay for college and beyond. All right? Now, you heard me ask her a question about her brother. Her brother is Tony. What's interesting is Tony in middle school started wanting to be cool. Tony started to want to hang out with the wrong crowd. Instead of studying and getting his grades, Tony wanted to hang out with some of the older kids who were drinking and who were skipping school. Tony ended up barely graduating high school and then ended up getting in trouble, spending a little time in jail, whereas Nadia graduated with a full $1 million scholarship. They both lived in the same household. They both had the same mother and the same father. They both lived in the same neighborhood and went to the same schools. Who can tell me, how is it, ooh, I'm liking the hands already. How is it possible that Nadia took care of her business and Tony didn't? Yes, ma'am.
Peer pressure.
Peer pressure. Tell me about it. Peer pressure for who?
It's the wrong crowd. People hang around.
For Tony?
Yeah.
Well, let me ask you this. Do you think Nadia had peer pressure?
Probably at times, but she knew how to.
Ooh, I'm liking it. Yes, I like the hand. Yes. Absolutely. Because guess what? Every time you guys hear peer pressure, you always think negative. Peer pressure is not always negative. Peer pressure can be positive. Because if you're a leader, you hang around with what? Leaders, exactly. If you're a goofball, you hang around with what? Goofballs. So think about this. You are who your friends are. A lot of y'all hanging out with people, you say, that's not me, see, But guess what? You are exactly who your friends are. So if you're hanging out with people who are not doing much, who are not going anywhere, you're the same exact thing. The only difference is you're pretending to be better. Yes, you had your hand raised. Yes, ma'am. I have a second rule. When you raise your hand, it's because you have an answer. My time is very valuable and very important, and I do not like wasting it. And I like it worse when other people waste it. So do you have an answer? All right, next time you raise your hand, and anyone else, I want you to have an answer. You're not in trouble, but have an answer, okay? What's your name? Who? Noelle. You are so beautiful, Noelle. Thank you for raising your hand, but you have an answer next time, okay? Thank you. Yes, sir.
I think I know why Nadia went to college, but Tony.
Her brother went to jail. Why? That sounds like a Tupac song. Nadia went to college, but her brother went to jail. Anyway, keep going.
But Nadia worked really hard to earn that scholarship. While Tony was the goofball and he didn't even care.
Okay, you're right on track.
He was working with the wrong crowd.
He was working with the wrong crowd. And why was he working with the wrong crowd?
Because he was pretending to be better.
Oh, you trying to listen to what I'm saying, huh? Okay, I hear you. Yes, sir.
Because Nadia was studying and Tony wasn't. He was playing around, being bad and listening to other people and going out and not doing his homework.
Man, you guys are smart. I'm loving this. Yes, sir.
Nadia was more determined to elevate herself, her surroundings. Tony really didn't even care.
He didn't even care. Tony was more interested in being cool. Okay. Anyone else? Anyone else? Yes. Take your shirt from around your mouth. Sit up.
Nadia was studying and following directions.
Interesting.
And Tony
He didn't care. So let me ask you this question. Here's a very important question. First of all, let me ask you this question. How many of you know some adults who are not successful? Raise your hands. How many of you know some adults who are straight up bums? Raise your hands. These grown-ups, right? Straight up bums. How many of you know some grown-ups that you don't want to be like, and if you never saw them in life again, you'll be okay? All right? Look around. All right? Hands down. So here's my second question. Think about those bums that you're thinking about. When did they become unsuccessful? Yes. You said middle school? Why middle school?
That's where you choose who you want to be.
Okay. Who has a different answer? Yes. Elementary school. Whoa, so you saying before middle school. Okay, talk to me. Tell me more. Can you all hear her over there? Nope. All right, so this is what we're going to do. Now, once you raise your hand, I want you to stand. And then project your voice. It's okay, you got this, because you're a leader. Project your voice so everyone can hear you. Yes, ma'am.
I think elementary school, that's why all of their videos, but they probably got like this from being bad.
Oh, so you're saying kids can determine in elementary school if they're going to be successful or failure. That's powerful. Yes.
I think it started at home.
At home? Tell me more.
Because bad childhood and things like that can lead to unsuccessful people.
Okay. So you're saying, let me ask you this question. So you're saying if the home life is chaotic, negative, and drama, chances are that child will not be successful.
Yes, they're going to carry that chaotic drama.
Okay, let me ask you this question. Is it possible that even in that chaotic and drama home, that the child can make it?
Yes, if they're determined.
If they're determined. Ooh, this is good. We're going to have a case study in a minute. Yes, sir.
I think it starts directly after high school, and like it has a little bit to do with like the home life.
Okay.
Like after high school, you're like set on this plane. Like,
So let me ask you this question. Do you know some guys right now in high school that you know not going to make it?
Yes.
Yes.
So then how can it be after high school? Because you're saying this happening right now in high school.
No, I said after high school.
Right. You're saying that they will become unsuccessful after high school, but they're doing stuff already. Skipping school, playing around, not listening to teachers, trying to see whatever they can get into, right? So if they're doing that now, that determines what's going to happen later. So they already becoming unsuccessful in high school. Why do you think it waits until after high school?
Because like that's where like they really fail. It's like
They're on their own.
So you don't think they're really failing in high school?
like in high school they have like a little stability. They're being propped up by like school and all that. Parents.
They have
Like when they get to like after school.
What's your name again?
Richard Lund.
Richard. I appreciate what you just said. I think that is the greatest illusion that high school students have. They think they have more time. They think that they can mess around and all of a sudden one day, I'm just going to get it together. It doesn't work that way. A lot of people come into high school as freshmen and say, yo, I'm going to just play this first year, you know, I'm going to just do whatever. Right? And then their sophomore year, they've created and they've attracted these negative, silly friends, and now they've gotten dumber in a year instead of smarter because they're hanging around dumb folks. They hang around dumb folks, get dumber. It's just that simple, right? And so in their junior year, it's like, oh snap. Yeah, it's too late. And then by the time they're seniors, they're like, I don't even know what I'm going to do. So it happens before they graduate from high school. My man right here said middle school. My lady over here said elementary school. I think they're right. I think some people decide in elementary school, I don't care. That's terrible. And I think others who may not have decided, life happens to them, family happens to them, drama happens to them, and then they just say, I don't care anymore. Yes, sir. What's your name? I'm going to have to know your name. Yes, sir.
I think people get it from other people, cause like when they're around high school and college, they get to watch stuff that's like inappropriate, but then they think they have a lot of time to watch TV instead of focusing on their homework.
We're going to talk about that TV stuff.
So when that ends, so when high school ends, they won't.
What grade are you in?
Second.
Second grade.
Third.
Third grade. You're going to third grade. Listen, you are a great young man. You are very smart. You are very intelligent. Some of your teachers are going to have problems with you. Let me tell you why. Because you're alert, you're smart, and you have answers. Some teachers who don't want to do their job are going to wish you would just sit down and shut up. But what I want you to do is stay smart. I want you to stay alert. I want you to keep raising your hand. I want you to keep answering. Do not allow other people to dictate where your future goes. You're powerful enough to decide. And other people will try to stop you because you are awesome. Do you hear what I'm saying? No matter what, I want you to continue to be awesome for the rest of your life. Do you hear me? You have permission, okay? Thank you. Yes, ma'am. You're double jointed? Good Lord, how you just bend your arm like that? Hey, yes, ma'am, go ahead.
I think they probably get it from their parents because.
Ooh, parents. Ooh, parents don't ever want to take responsibility for them raising bad kids. Go ahead.
Because when their parents were smart, they probably was bad, and probably affected them too.
Say the last thing.
When their parents were probably like smaller, and they was younger, it probably affected them from their back too.
Interesting. Okay. All right. Let's keep moving on. One cool thing about the work that I do, I have an opportunity to meet amazing young people, but then I have an opportunity to meet a lot of cool grown-ups too. Anybody recognize anybody on this board? Yes, sir. Who? Jamie Foxx, right there. Anyone else? Anyone else? Yes.
Is that Calvin Lawrence? Not Calvin. I forgot his first name.
That dude right there?
Somebody. Yeah. What's his name?
He's somebody. I don't know what his name is. I don't know his
What's his
name.
name?
But this is what I do know.
Lance Gross.
When I posted this picture, all the ladies like, really? Really? All right. What about this guy right here? Y'all know who this guy is? Chris Rock? Comedian?
Oh, Chris.
Chris Rock. Yeah. I don't like Chris Rock. It doesn't? What about this guy right here? Only the old folk know this guy. Look at you. You an old woman. Go ahead. I see you, man. Ooh, what about here? Gabrielle Union, no. I'm going to tell you the movie, and I'm going to tell you what she played on, and you'll remember.
She played in everything.
She does. Ice Cube, Ride Alone,
I don't know.
The Wife, Kevin Hart, yep. Now, I'll give somebody $20 if you can tell me who this is. Yes. Michael Eric Dyson? No.
Bill Gates.
I'm giving only two more guesses. Bill Gates. Lord, what? Going once? Anyone? Yes.
I think it's.
No.
Can we get a hint?
Dr. Phil. Dr. Phil?
Can we get a hint?
You already know.
Can we get a hint?
Okay, I'm going to tell. Yes. Yes.
The one in the blue right there. Doesn't he play on Star?
Blue here?
No.
This way?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yes, yes. I can't
House of
remember his
Pain.
name.
You can't remember his name?
I want
What's his
House
name?
of Pain.
Lance somebody?
Let's go.
You said House of Paint? Lance Gross, is that it?
No.
I don't know his name. But he does. He's on a lot of different movies. So now, the $20 question. No one. Interesting. I'll give you a hint. Someone said a hint. I'll give you one hint. This guy is her older brother. And this girl and this guy have the same daddy and mama.
Yeah, his name is Lance Gross.
Oh, that's Tony!
Tony, no. Okay, I'm going to answer it.
No.
Y'all ready?
No.
I'll take it. Let me see what she says. Ooh. I'm going to text back. Hello? Yeah, no, she's in the workshop right now. You love her. I'm just playing anybody else. So, this guy and that lady, that is Dr. Martin Luther King's son and daughter. This is Martin III. That's my friend Bernice King. As you see, I gave you a hint right there. I'm in Atlanta at the King Center. No, I'm not kidding you. Storm. The children are alive. Dr. Martin King did. You know that. Yeah, no, he's alive. This is in Atlanta. And that's Bernice King. I'm sorry. Ray, I didn't see her hand. I didn't see her hand. All right. Yes, ma'am. They live in Atlanta? Yes. Well, he's married. Bernice is single. And there's another brother, Dexter, that lives in California. He has some grandchildren, only like a couple. Yes, Martin Luther King Jr. was married to his wife, Coretta Scott King. All right, let's keep moving. Now, got to give you guys some warnings, if you haven't figured this out already. My speaking style is very direct, honest, and straight to the point. If you have a question about anything, raise your hand, and I will guarantee you I will stop. The second thing is I do not sugarcoat my message to make you feel good. I don't care about any of your feelings in this room, not one person. I don't care about your feelings. I'm not here for your feelings. What I do care about is for you being the best person that you can possibly become. And sometimes that means hurting somebody's feelings, but what I will always do is be honest and be truthful. The last warning I have for you is I have very high expectations for you because I want you to win in life. As a people, as a community, we are not winning as a community, all right? And the reason why we're not winning is because people are sugarcoating stuff and making us feel that everything is fine and everything is not fine. We need everyone in this room, from the youngest young man to the youngest young lady to the oldest, to understand that if we're going to advance as a people, we got to get a whole lot more serious than what we are right now. Okay? My intention is to share powerful information with you for us to learn. I don't know everything. That's why when I ask you to raise your hand and I stop to listen to you, I'm learning as well. So although I'm the facilitator, as Mr. Searon said earlier, but I'm really learning from you, okay? And I need you to stop beating on that desk, because I'm almost 50 years old, and all those I know y'all understand, but all them little noises, they working my last nerve, all right?
I'm only 40.
You're only 40, okay, well I'm older than you then.
There you go.
All right, repeat after me, success.
Success.
I can't hear you, success.
Success.
Is a journey.
Is a journey.
But it takes hard work.
But it takes hard work.
Okay, now, I'm going to share some statistics, and then I want to talk about them for a little bit, okay? The 12th grade reading scores of African American males are significantly lower than for boys and girls across every other racial and ethnic group.
Wow.
All right? On average, African American 12th grade students read at white student 8th grade level. On average, not everyone, on average. Last thing, young black men across the board score below every other ethnic and racial group as it comes to graduation rates, literacy rates, and college graduation. Who has an opinion about that? Who has a thought about that? I want to hear from the middle schoolers and the high schoolers now. What do you think when you see this? My man right here. What do you think when you see this?
That we have a very low rate of failing or staying back.
A low rate of failing? That's a high rate of failing.
I'm staying back and failing in the white.
Well, what do you feel about that?
That we can change it.
Can you? How?
Put hard work and work and our time and dedicating our time to work.
So why are the brothers not doing it? Why are the brothers not holding up their end of the responsibility?
They get caught up in doing drugs, alcohol, drugs, and doing other things.
Okay? Yes, ma'am.
I feel like they already placed in this pedestal where they're expected to do less than other people.
Say it one more time.
I feel like they're already in this place where they're expected to do less than other people, so it's just...
Interesting. So you're saying the expectations are lower, and since the expectations are already low, they fulfill those expectations and come in where they're expected to come in. Yes, sir.
I could blame the schools.
Okay.
Some of the schools, like, some teachers don't even care, like, about the students.
I agree.
And that's when, like, students start to give up too. Like, when, like, the teacher starts to show uninterest, the students will start to show uninterest. It's going to be bad from there.
Okay. Yes, sir. A little bit louder.
Some teachers could be racist.
Some teachers could be racist. That's absolutely true, too. All right. Yes.
Sometimes it might be like the parents are not like getting on them about what they should be doing. So the child might have like messed up priorities. They might think, oh, it's better for me to go to the shoe store instead of stay home and study. Or it's better for me to go or not come to school and be absent 9 days at a time instead of going to school and getting my work done so I have better grades. So they have like, and if their parents aren't getting on them about it, they think, oh, my parent doesn't care, so I don't need to care.
Interesting. So if my parents don't care about my education, about my grades, why should I care? Man, you guys are on it. Yes.
I also feel like sometimes it's the lack of a parent. Like most young African American males, their dads are missing. Most of their dads are probably incarcerated, and that plays a big role in their life also.
So you're saying oftentimes, because I was going to say,
No male figure.
the girl in the same household is usually doing okay, but the male isn't, and I think you're absolutely correct. Because girls see mama and auntie socializing, doing things, and oftentimes the boy don't see daddy at all.
It affects the girls too sometimes.
It absolutely affects the girl.
They look for love in the wrong places.
Absolutely. Yes.
What was I going to say? I'll come back.
Okay. Is your, I see your hand all kinds of ways. Was it ready? No? Okay. All right. Those are great answers. Okay. Now, how many of you in this room going to the NFL? Raise your hand. How many of you going to the NFL? All right. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Perfect. What about you? Not? Okay, perfect. I wanted to share some information with you about the NFL. Because so many of our young men spend so much time playing sports instead of reading books. for an illusion that they're going to the NFL. So check this out. In high school, there's over 1,086,627 students, males, playing football in high school, right? Every one of them think they're going to the NFL. By the time they become high school seniors, that number drops down to 310,465. So who can tell me what happened to the other 600,000? Yes.
They gave up.
They gave up? Okay. What else? Yes.
They started focusing on their education.
Start focusing more on education? Okay. Yes.
They realized going to the NFL is unrealistic.
They realized they were not good enough to make it. Yes.
They see other people better than them.
They saw other people better than them and they knew, this is not going to happen. Yes. They probably had bad grades. Yes.
I think it's because they're probably just hurting people and they don't want to be hurt, so they give up.
Okay, all right. That's a different workshop, but I appreciate that. Any other answer? Yes.
They're not good.
They weren't good enough. Okay, but check this out. In college, there's only 70,147 NCAA football players playing in college. In order to go to the NFL, you got to go to college. So what happened to almost 300,000 folks from high school to college? Yes. They didn't go to college, right? Yes.
They realized again.
They realized this is not happening. Yes.
They wasn't focusing and studying. They
Okay.
didn't have the books on.
Okay. My man in the yellow shirt, what do you think happened? All the way in the back. Yes, sir.
I think there's a lot of other people better than them. And it's like, so you have a better chance of going in the eye of a needle than getting into the NFL because it's a very special group.
Okay.
And you have to have a special talent to make that. Some don't have the desire, and some just can't cut it.
Okay. And then check this out. From the 70,000 students playing football in high college, only 350 get drafted to the combine. 350. Out of the 350 who gets to the combine, who knows what the combine is? What is it?
This is why we need to go to the NFL.
Nope. What is it?
Like a tryout.
It's a tryout. You're not at the NFL yet. You got to jump. You got to test your speed. They test your strength. I think they do teeth checks. I think they see how strong your back is. Some of us know there was another auction block years ago, but this is a different kind of auction block. Yes, sir.
They have an IQ test too. To test
Do they?
The player, a wonder test.
Okay.
And they test the number one pick, Kyler Murray. He didn't score well on the wonder test and everything and so forth. But it's an IQ test to test your knowledge and everything.
Okay. So from that, only 300 make it to the NFL. So let's do the math real quick. There's 1 million in high school want to play. There's only 300,000 that's playing in high school. There's only 70,000 that's playing by the time they are in college. And that number goes to 300 that actually make it. And 4 years later, it's only 150 are still in the NFL. That means the probability of making it is 0.001%. I know you didn't know that. That's why I wanted to tell you that. So in other words, I saw 4 hands or 5 hands went up in this room alone. You have a better chance of becoming an attorney, an architect, an astronaut. That's true. I won't say president because your chances are probably better for president. All right? But it's very slim. So this is why when we look at African American literacy rates for the males, they spending more time on stuff that's not going to get them what they want to get to. All right? And that's what we have to look at. So we're going to do a quick case study. We're going to talk about a student named DeAndre. What's the student's name? DeAndre. Okay. You guys are going to decide what happens to DeAndre. You have 2 options. Either 1, write him off, or 2, don't write him off. Let me explain. I'm going to give you different scenarios, and I'm going to say, what should we do? And if you say write him off, that means, yo, this dude got some problems. We don't want him in our school. We don't want him in our class. He's probably not going to make it. Let's get rid of him. All right? That's what write him off means. Don't write him off means, hey, this guy may have some drama going on, but it's possible that he still might make it. Make sense? Who does not understand what we're getting ready to do? Who needs me to explain it again? You need me to explain it again? All right, what do you not understand?
No one says write him off.
Okay? All right, so write him off means he's not going to make it. We don't want to waste time with him. Put him out of the school because he's not going to be successful. All right? Don't write him off means he still has a chance. All right? Let me give you the first scenario. DeAndre was raised in a single-parent household. What do we do?
Write him off.
That's when you got to respond. What do we do?
Don't write him off.
All right, you said write him off.
No, don't.
Defend your answer. Move your hands from your face. You said write him off. Why? Stand up. Use your voice. Don't come. You're wasting time. Let's go. Remember I said a few minutes ago that like I hate wasting time. Like right now you took 15 seconds of my whole life and said nothing. So I need you to say something. Why do we write him off?
Counselors, is there a reason why there isn't that?
Because he was in a single parent household? Okay. Who says don't write him off? Why not? Okay. So you can still make it, right? Let me ask you this question. How many of you are from single parent households right now? Raise your hand. Raise your hands. Sir, would you write her off? But you just said write him off. Would you write her off? Why? Do you have a mother and father in the home? So do you believe that because you have a mother and a father in the home, you're guaranteed for success? No. Do you think because you're in a single parent household, you're guaranteed for failure? No. All right? So this is not enough reason to write someone off because many people in this room are from single parent households. All right? Who else says don't write them off? Who else? Are you from a single parent house? Why not write them off?
Because my mom, she was a single parent, like just a single mom household. Her and her two siblings, all three of them came to the hospital. Her brother, he's good, really good. She's good. So her little sister,
So then you know from fact that just because you're from a single parent household, it doesn't mean you won't make it. Okay? Let's look at the second scenario. DeAndre's father abandoned his family and left his mother with 6 children. What should we do? All right? Who says don't write them off? Raise your hand. I'm seeing some people changing their mind. Who's like, I don't know yet? You catching none? Okay. All right, so you say don't write them off. Why not? Well, that's a lot of drama. Single parent mom with 6 brothers and sisters? How's he going to succeed? He can move his own house. Really? As a kid? How's he going to do that? Okay, no, he's still a kid. Yes. His peers can help him? So you say don't write him off? Who says write him off? Who says that's way too much drama? Let's write this person off. All right? DeAndre lived with his family in his grandmother's home. 9 of them lived in a 3-bedroom house with an alcoholic uncle in the house.
No.
What should we do?
Write him off.
Write him off? Why?
Because alcohol.
His uncle has alcohol, so what do you think is going to happen to DeAndre? You say he's going to drink too? Yes, sir.
He's going to drink it and he might die and he might not be able to God.
Okay, so you say, man, that's too much drama. He's going to be a drunk and he won't do well in school, so write him off. Who says don't write him off? Who says don't write him off? Why not? He can encourage his brother not to be an alcoholic. Okay, is that an answer back there? All right, Storm, are you with me? What should we do? Write him off or don't write him off? I know you're in between dreams. What should we do? So that means you better pay attention, all right? Let's take a look at another scenario. DeAndre was a bully and got into many fights in school. What should we do?
Write them off.
Oh, y'all said write them off now. Who says write them off? Raise your hand. Okay, who says don't write them off? Raise your hand. Okay, come here. Stand up, sir. Right here. What's your name? Daquan? Come on up to the front. Who says write him off? What's your name? Denaya. Come on up. All right. So, Mr. Daquan, you are now president of the Don't Write Him Off Club. All right? So your job is to try to convince your peers to have a majority vote on your side of not writing them off. Your name again? Denaya. Denaya, your job, you're not a president of the Write Him Off. That brother ain't gonna make it club. All right? So your job is to convince the majority of your peers to write him off. All right? So when I give you different scenarios, you gotta have your own mind made up. All right? When I give you more scenarios, you're gonna have to defend your position. Okay? So the next scenario, DeAndre's first encounter with law enforcement was in elementary school. What do we do? Okay, you say, what do we do? Don't write him off. Why? You better tell your peers. Oh, you changed. Ooh. So you've already changed, so he's already on your side. Who says don't write him off still? Anyone? Yes, ma'am. What's your name? Serenity. Come on up, Serenity. Go ahead and replace the president over here because he gave up on DeAndre already. Man. Serenity. Why not write this brother off? Law enforcement, bullying, drama, single parent mom, 6 kids. Why not write him off, Serenity?
Because he's already gone through a lot, so he has to understand from his point of view.
Well, what's his point of view? Huh? That's all you got? Okay, now, we're going to have to see who's going to win, Serenity or Denial. Yes, sir. Do you have something?
He still has a chance.
He still has a chance.
Yeah.
Okay, yes, sir.
You may have like a special aptitude for something certain, like math, science.
Okay, so you guys are still on the don't write them off group yet. So you guys are still on Serenity's side. So at least you have some people on your side. So what you're going to have to do, who says write them off? Raise your hands. So look around. You got a lot of people saying write them off, so you're going to have to do some convincing, okay? Let's take a look at another scenario. DeAndre sometimes disrespected his teachers and got put out of an elementary school. What do we do? Write them off? Okay, tell me, why write them off? Talk to your peers.
You know what? That was your teacher because you were something you might not do.
And then ask them to vote for your club to write them off.
Oh, yeah, write them off.
You didn't ask them.
Please vote to write them off.
All right, so she's the president of the Write 'em Off Club. Now, what do you say? What do we do now?
I know these from first-hand experience, all of these.
Okay.
Auntie and stuff.
Okay.
Her mom, she has a lot of siblings on her dad's side.
Okay.
They got into fights at school.
Okay.
But they're still making it now.
So you say don't write him off. So you asking them not to write off DeAndre. Ask them. Talk to them.
Don't write up here.
Okay. All right, a couple more scenarios. DeAndre packed his bags and left his mama's home at 14 years old. What do we do? Don't write him off. What do you say, my man? You still say write him off? You change your mind? What you doing? Flip-flopping? Yeah, no. Yes, sir.
Don't write him off.
Why?
Change. He really make change for himself.
Yes.
Don't write him off.
Why?
I feel like he's still young and he could encounter somebody who can encourage somebody. Somebody's like, yeah, like you. Need somebody like you.
You say what?
You may just understand that lady who's mom's home.
Oh, so you saying the drummer could be in his mother's house. And once he leaves that drummer, he possible, interesting. Storm, what do you say now? Now that you're awake. Don't write him off? Why? Because big sister said something? Really? So you listen to sister all the time? I know you don't. All right? Yes, yes. No, I'm sorry. Yes, sir. I saw your hand.
You shouldn't write him off because if he has enough money, then he can buy a house for himself. At 14, he can.
At 14? All right, last scenario. I see. Last scenario. DeAndre had over a dozen encounters with law enforcement. What should we do? Okay, so, time out. We're getting ready to take a vote. We're going to see which president is going to win. And I'm going to let them give their final arguments. Who says write him off? Raise your hands. Who says, that's too much drama, write him off? Raise your hands high. Who says write him off? Who says don't write him off? Raise your hand. Man, you guys are really, why not? Why not? That's a lot of stuff. Wait, hold on. Yes. He can still have potential. My man in the back, yes. Why not? What are you saying? Write him off or don't write him off? Speak. Come on, quickly. You can't think right now? Okay, yes.
They could have been like civil checks, like, hey, how you doing? Like, encounter.
Oh, so you're saying it doesn't have to be a negative encounter. Smart, interesting.
Maybe like in a park or something.
Okay, so, Ms. Serenity, I'm going to give you 60 seconds to make your case for the Do Not Write Them Off Club. Go right ahead. You know, talk to your peers.
He's already been through so much, and he's in hell, so you should really just give him the chance to make it right. He left his mother home.
But shouldn't we write him off because he's been through so much and he has so much drama?
No!
I'm only talking Serenity.
No, because he didn't know what to do. That was just what he was raised around all the time.
Okay. So you said it's still possible that he can make it?
Yes, he wasn't on the ordinance. That wasn't an option.
Okay. President of the Write 'em Off Club, convince them to write him off. Go right ahead.
I think we should write him off because like he did some bad things we should not supposed to do. But I think some people might get insurance. Some people might just
But you're saying we should write him off, though, right? Or did you change your mind? You changed your, so then she might be, so you changed your mind a little bit. Did you change your mind at all? So, okay, so raise your hand if you say do not write him off. Raise your hands. Raise your hands if you say write him off. All right? President, we have one champion, the president. Give a round of applause. All right? Now, quick question. You guys want to know a little bit more about DeAndre? Yeah. All right, check this out. This is DeAndre's elementary school report card. Look right here. He's getting in trouble. He has a temper. He's fighting in class. His grades are okay, C's and B's, all A's in spelling. Now, let me ask you this question. This is DeAndre's father, who left his mother with 6 kids. All 9 of them, 6 kids, the mother, the grandmother, and her alcoholic uncle brother lived in a 3-bedroom house. Okay? Now, here's my first question. What do you think happened to DeAndre's grades in middle school? Did they go up or down? Yes.
I think they went
Down. Why?
because there maybe be too much drama in the house.
Okay.
And he maybe being mean to other kids.
Okay.
And he went in jail a bunch of times.
Wow, that's fair. Yes. A little bit louder. You think they went up? How do you think they went up?
A little bit louder, please. Maybe he's a smart boy and like his grades.
So you're saying even in that drama, he can still be smart. Okay, all right. Let me ask you this question. Do you think he joined the game?
No.
No, why not? Yes.
Because he's smoking.
That's not him.
Oh, that's not him. These are just pictures. I appreciate you making a correlation though, all right? Do you think he smoked?
Yeah.
What did he smoke?
Weed.
Weed? Oh, he just woke up for the first time. Weed? Why was he smoking weed? That's what all gang members do. Okay. Did he drink? Who said yes? Who said he did drink? What did he drink? Alcohol, Ciroc. Okay. Yes. He drank whiskey. Yes. Then he's been mean to his siblings. Did he pop pills? Did he skip school? Did he skip school? You said he did or didn't? He didn't probably skip, but did he skip school? Okay. How was his behavior? Terrible. Okay, all right. I got you. Now, this is DeAndre's middle school report card. 1, 2, 3, 4 B's, 2 A's. So his grades went up. You hit it. Why did his grades go up? This is not making sense to me. Say it again. Determination. Okay. Say that last part again.
If you want better for yourself, you work for it.
If you want better for yourself, you got to work for it because nobody's going to give you anything. I saw a hand over here. Yes. He changed. You guys, let me show you his high school report card. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 A's and 2 B's in the freshman year. Sophomore year, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 A's and 1 B. Junior year, 1, 2, 3, 4 A's and 3 B's. Senior year, 1, 2, 3, 4 A's and 3 B's. DeAndre was in the National Honor Society, Spanish Honor Society, Social Studies Honor Society. All right? For the ones who said write them off. Look over here. There were 759 seniors in his graduating class. He ranked number 125, and he had a GPA of a 3.56. All right? Now, let me show you a little bit more about DeAndre. DeAndre graduated from high school with a full academic scholarship to FIU. DeAndre was a student government vice president. He was on the dean's list. He was a community leader. This is DeAndre in college with the president of the university. This is DeAndre in college on the speaker series. And right now, DeAndre is in Riviera Beach talking to students at the KOP camp. My first name is Dwayne. My middle name is Andre. My last name is Bryant. And people used to call me DeAndre. Thank you for not giving up on me. 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 Thank you. So, now that I have your attention, well, no, I didn't want to say the whole name, then you would have gotten it. So, listen up. The rest of this workshop is about, it doesn't matter what household you grew up in. It doesn't matter what family you grew up in. What really matters is what are you going to do about it. Because the reality is, I'll tell you why I was so angry growing up. I was so angry because my father never showed up. He always promised he was going to come, he was going to take us shopping, and he never showed up. So what would happen is, does anybody have a dad like that? Anyone have a dad like that? Just a couple people? 3 people? Okay. 4 people? All right. So you understand what I'm saying. And so when I would go to school, I would be angry. Because here's the man who's supposed to love me, who's supposed to look out for me. He never showed up. So what I would do the next day in school, when he didn't show up, I would say, you know what, I'm going to put in my backpack. Somebody say something to me, I'm going to punch him in the mouth. That's why I was a bully. If the teacher says something, I ain't listening to what she's saying. If my dad don't care about me, why should I care? And so what I did is I took all this stuff to school with me. So whenever someone said something, I was ready to punch them right in their mouth.
You had brass knuckles?
Say it again?
You had brass knuckles?
No, didn't need brass knuckles. I had these knuckles. All right? So what happened is, fortunately, I had a teacher named Ms. Barbara Bay. And I'm going to introduce her to you in a second. She changed my whole world. But what I want to show you before that is now I'm the president of my own company, Intervision International. And as the president, I wear different hats. Up here, sometime I have to meet with my team. We just finished a lot of marketing website information, okay? Down here, when I'm not in America, I'm usually either in Africa or the Caribbean because I love black people. And I want to be where we are. Because one thing I love about Africa is that the students over there are serious about their academics. A lot of times in America, if we say something about Africa, we get angry, we want to fight. But the average African students your age speak 3 or 4 languages. They're way smarter than Americans. But I want to show you something. This was a school that we went to in Kenya. We were in Kenya here. This is me here. We were passing out shirts and passing out pencils. the students would run and say, a pencil, I can learn, I can read. If I come to a school in America or in Chicago and pass out a pencil, they're going to be like, a pencil? Man, you done lost your whole black mind. You better bring me some Alphas or some Jordans or some Xboxes or stuff like that, okay? All right? Check this out. This is the classroom. Look at this classroom. The chairs are tore up. Not every student get a chair. There's no electricity. We can turn on lights in this room. We have air conditioning in this room. If it's 90 degrees over there, you just hot. So think about all of the stuff that we take for granted in America, that we're never satisfied with anything. We're always complaining. Let me show you the restroom. This. You know what this is? It's a door with a hole in the ground. So when you got to do what you got to do, just make sure it ain't too much. When that hole fills up, you cover the hole, you dig another hole, and you put another door on it. That's the restroom. When you go to the restroom, you can flush. You have different types of toilet paper. Some of y'all even got the stuff that you can like spray in. Just think about it. This is the kitchen. You cook all of the food in a pot. One big pot. You don't always have meat. Meat is for special occasions. So you get your rice, you pop it in that plastic bowl. You might have a spoon, you might have a fork, or you might just have to go in. Mr. C. Ron Allen just gave you guys options. What do you want for lunch? And you have many different options. So imagine we have students in Kenya, your ages, who run circles around you, academically speaking, and they don't even have half of what you have. How is that possible? Who can tell me, how is that possible? Anyone? Yes.
I think they're more determined on their grades than anything else. Because if you think about it, they don't have a lot of electronics. And I saw this movie. William. He was determined to go to school, and then he learned a lot, and then he finally made something that can help.
Was that The Wind, the boy who harnessed the wind?
Yeah.
I saw that. Great documentary. Yes, I saw her hand up. Yes.
Well, look at it like this. In America, you turn on the lights, you go to the bathroom, like you said. And over there, they can't do that like we can. So academics is like their outlet, their way out from there.
Absolutely. So then, how is it? So why do we take so much for granted here?
Because we don't struggle like they do.
So you're saying part of being successful is having a struggle.
So sometimes.
Interesting. Yes, ma'am. And then yes, ma'am. He said it. Yes.
It's like it's handed to us. We don't know what it is like to the struggle.
Okay. So let me ask you this question. When you say hand it to them, that means parents. Parents are giving their kids everything. Parents don't want their kids to hurt for anything, but they didn't grow up that way. So let me ask you this question. Why do you think parents are handicapping their kids, whereas your mothers and fathers had to grow up, they had to struggle? They may have had more situations like DeAndre. They didn't get everything, but now they have kids, they want to give them everything. Xbox, they want to give them iPhone. They don't want them to work for anything. Why do you think that is? Yes.
Because they want them to have a better life than their childhood they had. They want better for them than they have themselves.
Okay, but it's hurting them. Yes.
I think it's because they want their kids. They don't even care.
You don't think they care? Interesting. Okay, that's a different point. All right. So this last page right here. These are the things that's most important to me on the planet. Right? Who is this right here? That's my mama. I love my mama. My mama is a little bitty short woman. When I was, obviously, my mom stands about right here. In high school, I started smelling myself. I started thinking, man, this little bitty woman don't tell me what to do. In high school, because I was smart now. I went and stopped the bullying and all of this stuff. So one day my mom said, boy, I think you should. I said, Mom, I don't think I want to do that. She said, I'm not asking you, I'm telling you. And I went to my mom and I just stood there. My mama hit me so quick in my throat. I thought my mama had almost killed me. To this day, I don't play with my mama. All right? Make sure you respect your mothers at all times. Because guess what? Sometimes, how many of y'all mamas get on y'all nerves? Raise your hands. I get it. I get it. Mine got on mine too, hands down. And actually, every other mother in this room, their mama got on their nerves at some point too. Am I right or wrong? So that's a part of it. But here's the deal. Your mothers and fathers know things that you don't know. So sometimes your parents will tell you something like, I don't want you hanging out with this person. I don't want you being friends with that person. Has that happened? Yep. And some of you guys say, well, Mom, you don't know that person. You're being so judgmental. But guess what? They know a whole lot more about that person and their family than what you know. And so what they're trying to do is to protect you from making certain mistakes that you might not know you're going to make, okay? So that's why you want to always be respectful. Now, this right here, these are my students. Right now, you guys are my students. This is why I'll get on the plane at 11 o'clock at night to fly here to be with you guys, to get back on another plane today, going right back to Chicago. Because that's how important you are. Who can tell me who is this? That's me. That's me as a little boy. When I was a little boy, I dreamed of the type of man that I wanted to become. I had dreams of who I wanted to become. How many of you have dreams of what you want to do in the future? What's your dream, my brother?
Be a football player.
Be a football player. What's your other dream? Because we just talked about that one. To be an architect. Why an architect? You want to build something. Are you good in science? Are you good in math? Okay. Then what I want you to do is get better in science and stronger in math. As an architect, you have to know science and mathematics. All right? And Mr. Ceron is going to expose you guys to so many wonderful things that I believe if that's what you choose to do, you can do that. But you can't do, how many hours a week do you play video games? Not that much? How many hours a week are you on social media? YouTube most of the time? How many hours a week are you playing football? About. Just 1 hour or 2 hours a week? So then when 1 or 2 hours a week, we know you're not going to the NFL because you don't have skill set. All right? Because you can't go playing that little. So if that's the case, you might as well be productive with your time and excite and educate your mind. Okay? All right? Who else? Who else knows you want to do? Yes, ma'am. Anesthesiologist. Why?
Because I just like anybody in school, they might want to go to and treat you.
I have a friend who's an anesthesiologist. They make great money, but you got to be good with them sciences. You're good in science. Perfect. Because you don't want to mix the wrong chemicals and have somebody out a little too long. Yes, sir. What's your drink? Say it again. Forensic science. Why is that? Okay, very good. So that means you stay out of trouble? Or you're a troublemaker? You stay out of trouble. Which one? You saying, we got some difference of opinion. What you saying, my man? Talk to me. You get in trouble all the time. So why are you in trouble all the time? Come in here trying to act like an angel. Talk to me. You don't know? You do know. Why do you always get in trouble? Why? We just talked about the black man who doesn't pay attention, didn't we? So why is that you?
Following the wrong crowd.
Following the wrong crowd, then why don't you lead the right crowd? Anybody can follow the wrong crowd. It takes a real person to lead the right crowd. So what's the answer? Why don't you be the leader since you're a follower? Yes, sir. NBA? What's your second goal? Football. All right. Yes, ma'am. I can't even hear you, and I'm standing right here. A police officer. Okay. Why you want to be a police officer? And he needs to be able to hear you over there. Can you hear her? Can you hear her? No, they can't hear you. Can you hear her? They can't hear you. You want to save the world? Okay. All right. I'll go for that. Yes, sir.
I want to be a player and football player because I want to get a career.
A career in what?
Football.
What's your name? Darius. Listen to me carefully. Are you listening? I need you to not worry about football and basketball. I need you to worry about something in science and math. Because what happens is, as a people, we love entertainment and we love playing. Playing and entertainment doesn't build anything. And we're lacking. So we need some engineers, we need some scientists, we need some mathematicians, we need some engineers, we need some attorneys. Okay? And I understand, because when I was your age, and doctors, absolutely. When I was your age, guess what? I wanted to be the same thing because that's all I saw. So what I'm hoping, and one thing I know Mr. C-Ron is going to do with this camp, is going to expose you guys to stuff that you've never even known existed. I know some kids went on an Airbus tour, and they went to do a simulation on being a pilot. So a lot of times you only know what you know, even grown-ups. We only know what we know. But it's what you don't know that our job is to expose you to get you excited about it. Because every week you can look at a football game, a basketball game, you can play hours of video games, and then it makes you think, that's what I want to do. But it's so much more to life than just playing. Okay? Last person, yes sir.
I want to be an engineer when I grow up.
Why?
Because I'm good at science, I'm good at math, and I'm good at analyzing, I'm good at molding people.
How old are you again?
Eight, yeah.
8 years old, in the second grade.
He's going to third.
Going to third grade. Okay. I believe you will make that. Yes, sir.
I would like to be an FBI agent.
Really? Why?
The reason why is because I like to solve investigations.
Really? What does my coin say?
Federal Bureau of Investigation.
What is that?
It is in
What does the acronym mean? F?
FBI.
Right. When I fly out of here tomorrow, that's where I'm headed. I'm in the FBI Citizens Academy. I fly out tonight. But every Tuesday night from 6 to 9 p.m., I'm in the FBI Citizens Academy learning what do they do. Learning about investigations, because they have a terrible history with our community. So I figured I need to understand more so I can learn how to better educate my people on different tactics. Because they're a very powerful organization. And the stuff that we're learning will blow your whole black mind. I mean, there's some stuff going on in this country right now. I'm like, what?
And my second thing is that I would like to be a scientist.
A scientist, excellent. Because here's what's interesting. FBI hires scientists, they hire engineers, they hire attorneys, they hire many different people from many different backgrounds. So which it also means that you got to stay out of trouble. You can't hang out with kids who are doing stupid stuff. You hear what I'm saying?
Yes.
Even if it's family members, you have to be careful who you hang out with. Because you have to have good character, good integrity. All right? Yes, ma'am.
I want to be a teacher.
A teacher. We need some good teachers. Why do you want to be a teacher?
Because I like learning about math and science and reading.
And you're going to teach other people to do that. There's this lady in this room right now. Her name is Ms. Novice Johnson. She's a teacher. As a matter of fact, she teaches speech, she teaches debate, and she has a team of students that's getting ready to go to the national championship on debate. Ms. Novice Johnson, where are you? Would you raise your hand so we can see who you are? That lady right back there. You one of her students?
No, you gotta put $3 in the jar.
Actually, it's 4. He just said students again.
Who said students?
You.
I'm not supposed to say students?
You gotta say.
Is that what Mr. C-Ron said?
No.
He owe y'all some money, so I'm going to let him know. So hold on. That's good. So Mr. C-Ron said, what now?
Every time he says students,
He owes y'all money?
Yeah.
Students. How much is that? That's 10?
no, yes.
He owe y'all $10. All right? Okay. Cool. So I'm going to tell Mr. C-Ron Allen, every time I say student, he owes y'all money. All right. Shh. Buckle down. Okay, real quick. We're getting ready to finish up. Who can tell me what is this? Someone I haven't heard from. Yes, ma'am. Yes. Iceberg. A glacier. Okay. Yes. That's the cover on Gucci Mane's album. Okay. All right. Yes.
I think it's before, like the top, like above the water, is like success.
This?
Yeah, it's like success and stuff like that.
It's like success?
And on the bottom is what I don't see, like the hard work and dedication.
Stand up, man. Stand up. Speak a little louder.
Oh, setback.
So you saying what now?
Yeah, basically like that. The end
So
result.
you all up in my presentation. Go ahead.
Yeah.
Okay.
So below in the effort part is the setback, all of the hard work and stuff. And then on the top, success is
Okay. So let's go back. This is an iceberg, right? But here's what's amazing. If you're on a boat, the only thing you see is this. You don't see that 90% of the iceberg is below water. So how does this relate to success? Everyone in this room wants to be successful. But if you're going to reach success, what determines if you reach it is everything down here that goes into success. Because everybody talks about it, but very few people are willing to do the work to make it happen. That makes sense? Like my man right here. He just a minute ago said, I want to be a successful student, blah, blah, blah. And his boy straight up called him out. Like, man, you always get in trouble playing around. So which tells me he wants this, but he's not doing this. And you can't get that without doing this. Make sense? Yes, sir. Someone had a, yes, sir. We're going to add to it. Stand up so we can hear you.
Oh, no, I forgot.
You got it?
I know I forgot.
You forgot? Okay. Now, yes, sir.
I got a question for you. What's the biggest room in the world? Everybody else be quiet. What's the biggest room in the world?
ROOM?
Yes, sir.
I do not know.
Room for improvement.
Room for improvement. Thank you, sir. Now I know. All right. Anything else? All right, we're going to go past this piece right here. We're going to go here. Who can tell me what is this? Space shuttle. Space shuttle. All right. Now listen to this question before you answer the next one. How does space shuttle, how does this image relate to your success?
Goes up and up.
You said what?
Goes up and up.
Goes up and up? Yes, sir.
It goes from the bottom all the way to the top.
Yes, sir. First time I saw your hand. Yes, my brother. Talk to me. And he's smiling too. Talk to me 2 times.
In this, you are the ship.
Who's the ship? The person that's trying to be successful.
Yeah.
Okay. So it's a spaceship. Talk to me more. Give me more. You right on track.
And
Man, this brother done woke up with some answers. Go ahead.
you are gonna stay around the people who you know.
Matter of fact, come on up here. Come on up here. I want to hear this. Let's see if this thing working. Test it, test it. It ain't working. So go ahead. You're the facilitator now. Talk to us. Teach us.
You are this and you
So when you say you're saying every student in this room who wants to be successful is a space shuttle. Right? Okay, keep going.
and you are gonna need parts or friends,
You're going to need parts or friends.
which are these right here.
And what are these? You got a name for them?
Solid
Solid rocket boosters. Okay. So in order for the space shuttle to get to its destiny and to take off, you got to have some other parts. You got to have some other things helping you reach your destiny. Okay, keep going.
and you are gonna have to get help from
So wait, you said you got to get help. So can you become successful alone? No. You got to get help. These counselors are here for you to get help. The adults here are for you to get help. No one in this world makes success alone. That's why you have to be careful with who you hang out with. Keep going. Man, what's your name, brother? Jalen, you are on this thing, Jalen. Go ahead. I thought you were going to sit there and frown the whole morning, but Jalen is teaching. Go ahead.
receive help, make it to the place that you want to be. So if when the you or your rocket takes off,
Can you guys hear? A little bit louder, Jalen.
if you or the rocket takes off, you're gonna need help to get to the place where you want to be. In this case, you're gonna want to be in space, but you can't make it alone if you only have the rocket. You need like
Because if you ain't got the fuel, you can't make it. Okay, what else?
And if you have determination, you can get to the place where you want to be.
Boom, let me show you how, let's give him a round of applause. Who said sit down? Come on back up. No, you too good now. So check this out. That's what you just said, right? So, he did not even know what's on my presentation, but he just laid it all out. Students, this is you. Everybody that said you want to become an anesthesiologist, a scientist, a lawyer, an architect, this is you. But in order to reach your destiny, in order to take liftoff, you got to have principals, administrators at your school. You guys got to have counselors, coaches, right? You got to have the staff at the school. And very important, you got to have a quality parent. At least one, or guardian, right? And then what happens is once you get all of these things in place, you're ready for liftoff. Because guess what happens at some point in life? Everything has to detach, and you have to fly on your own. Tell me about this part.
A year?
Yes, sir. Because see, what happens now is you said all of these things you got to be a part of, but at some point in life, your first grade teacher falls off. Your second grade, 5th grade, 10th grade, 11th grade. Then even your parents, when I say fall off, they detach. Because you have to be able to fly on your own.
You said teacher and principal.
Yeah, all of it. At some point, they all have to detach from you. Because your teachers won't always, even though they'll be with you. My man, are you talking? I just said we don't talk when I talk. See how that works? All right? Even though your teachers will be with you, but there still has to come a time when you go to 2nd grade, you don't have your 1st grade teachers, right? When you go to 5th grade, you don't have your 4th grade teachers. So that's what I mean. They have to detach from you.
You have different teachers every time you move.
Absolutely. So what happens is, as you go higher, certain things fall off, right? But ultimately, this is right here is around graduating high school. So now your teachers are not going to go to college with you, I hope. Your parent, I hope. We got some parents that try to go to college with their kids. They need to sit down and go on home and live their own life. But right here is when all that stuff detaches. And now you have to fly on your own. Now you have to demonstrate everything you've learned. And sometimes it's scary when you go to college, when you're on your own. But that's when you have to demonstrate everything that you've been taught. Because even though they leave you, they're still on the inside of you. Make sense? Yes, sir.
When you go higher, everything goes lower.
Interesting. And tell me more about that.
Well, when you're ready for liftoff, everything you have learned starts to fall apart, and then you still have all those knowledge that you're 2nd through 5th and 6th through 8th. Learning.
So you said everything you've learned is still inside of you.
Yes.
You still get to use it.
Yes.
Even though you may be on your own.
Yes.
All right, I'm liking that. All right, what's the final story, man?
So in this right here, you're graduating college. Well, you're graduating high school, going to college, and since you can't have your parents, friends, or your teachers following you because of you're not going to be able, like when you grow.
Talk to your peers. Talk to your peers. You're talking to the wall. Talk to them.
When you become an adult, you can't have people always by you. You're going to sometimes be alone. So you're going to have to learn how to carry yourself alone.
Okay. Sir, what's your name? Mr. Bailey? Mr. Bailey, did he just speak truth?
Yes.
Absolutely.
Impressed with this young man.
Absolutely. Did you think he had this in him?
I did not.
I know! I promise you, I'm always sizing people up, right? And I promise you, I was like, that boy ain't gonna say a word. He gonna sit over there and frown the whole time. And dude, correct, exactly. So listen, my man, what's your name again? Jalen. I'm giving you permission to be great. Don't sit in the cut the whole time and just, you're powerful. You hear me? I need your eyes. You just taught me a great deal. Thank you. Let's give him another round of applause. powerful brother, Ciro, this brother right here just broke down the whole thing. And also, you owe them $15, and I said student, 16.
You said presenting.
Oh, he can't say principal either? Oh, okay, yeah.
So since when does he represent me?
They tell me.
He said nobody.
Man for himself. I mean.
So in other words, he's not paying y'all for my students.
He didn't even know there was a deal.
Okay, now, let's move to something that I have to talk to you guys about. And now we got to move super fast. Who knows what this is? Fingerprint. Who knows what this is? Footprint. Okay? So what I want to talk to you quickly about is your digital fingerprint and your digital footprint. Especially my middle school students and my high school students. A lot of y'all have, say it again? Oh, okay. So for right now, we're going to suspend school, student, teacher, principal. I'm suspending it. All right, I'm suspending it. So don't even worry about that no more. Storm, it's over. It's done. So listen up, real quickly. Social media can be a weapon or a tool. And many of you young folk are using it as a weapon. You're going online, you're talking about each other, you're taking pictures, you're sending pictures. Everything you do online can never be deleted. And I'm learning this stuff right now. So some of you are doing things and you're saying things and you think because I go in and delete it, I won't get in trouble. But let me show you how this works. Right now, what's your name, my man? Jeremiah. Let's say if I don't like Jeremiah. I'll go I don't like big old head Jeremiah. He don't even have no waves in his head. Tomorrow, when I see Jeremiah, I'm gonna punch him in his mouth. Sing. All right? So I send this from my phone. It goes to a satellite. It gets saved on the server, and it comes back down to his phone, right? Guess what? Jeremiah has friends as well. He has family who loves him as well. And they go on their device and say, yo, bald-headed, shiny-headed dude, don't talk about Jeremiah, because when you come to school tomorrow, we're going to punch you in your mouth. Sing. So now we got Jeremiah and I. It started as Jeremiah and I. Now it's my school versus his school, my family versus his family, and it's ridiculous. It's a lot of drama. But what happens is, say it again, it's absolutely stupid. But now, most fights are getting started online. And guess what? It's mostly girls. Yes. Yep. It's mostly girls. Because here's what's interesting. As a matter of fact, I need the girls to help me out with this. I haven't asked the question yet, but I'm glad you're going to help me out with it. Listen to the question. Here's the question. Boys will fight on Monday, and we'll be friends on Friday. Girls, y'all fight on Monday, and y'all still trying to snatch her weave out of her head on the last day of school. Why is that? Why is that? Yes.
For some reason, girls don't know how to let go of stuff.
Girls don't know how to let go of stuff.
They hold grudges for way too long.
Why?
Amen.
Maybe because they
Man say amen. Don't be talking about your wife in this room, man.
They think,
First one.
they think that that person might still be like talking stuff behind their back. They don't, in their mind, they're saying, okay, this person, I fought them, and they're still going to want to fight me, so I'm still going to hold a grudge against them. And they're not knowing that that person might have let it go, and then they go and fight them again on Friday, and that person's like, why did you do that? I wasn't even thinking about you. So girls, I guess some girls have that mindset that somebody is always trying to, tussle with them.
But why? Because sometimes people make stuff up in their own mind, and it's not even true. Like sometimes someone will just look at you, and you're like, what you say? What you? All I did was look at you. I mean, why? You had your hand raised. Talk to me. Can't hear you. A little bit louder. Wait, you had your hand raised. on now fighting social media on a level beyond boys. For the first time in the history of the planet Earth, we're building more female prisons than male prisons. Because more females are going to prison on a faster rate than men. Why is that? Yes.
Because girls get on the fight on Monday, and on Friday they still arguing because they probably be taking on social media, talking junk about them, and then they wanna fight again, and then that's how it happens again. The boys, when they fight, they cool the next day.
It's just done. I want to ask the adults, why do you think this is?
I think it's the nature of what they're fighting about.
Okay.
Women mostly gonna fight about a man.
Okay.
And men folks fight about different other things.
Okay.
And it's not women that's the first thing.
Okay. I need another grown woman who can help us out. Why are the girls fighting now longer and more than boys, and social media is where it's originated? I'm going to her first, and I'll come here.
Well,
Yes.
I feel that the women, we are more emotionally attached to our feelings, and that's why I think the arguments go a little longer than the men go a little longer.
Okay.
We're more
Okay, that's
emotional.
good. I can accept that. Yes. That's what you're going to say. Ms. Johnson, what do you think?
It's a combination of all the things that have been said, and one of the main things is that emotional component.
Okay. There's something I also think that no one has mentioned, but everybody knows about it. No, I'm gonna tell you. Yes. Talk about, well, yeah, that happens. I'm gonna tell you honestly. I think it's reality TV. I'm gonna explain it. Hold on. I see y'all like, no. Think about it. Time out. Listen to me for a second. When I grew up, I never saw women on a massive scale level totally misbehaving, acting a straight up fool. Now every girl in this room can turn on Atlanta Housewives. And what do you see? Grown women, every episode, cursing each other out, snatching each other's weave out their head, getting in each other's face, my man, your man. You can turn to Love and Hip Hop. You see the same thing. You can turn to VH1. You can even turn to the doctor show. These are grown, educated doctors who are acting the same exact way. Maury, Jerry Springer. So here's what's interesting. Remember we talked earlier about the young black boys and their academics? That they don't see a grown man, so therefore they're not reading and they're not studying. So I'm thinking that our young girls are seeing grown women act the fool. And then now you grow up and you think that's normal. And guess what? Some of y'all go home and see your mama and your aunties acting the same way. So now you think that's just how we act. Anybody disagree? Anybody have a different thought?
Well, I agree with you, and I'll tell you why. I think you're onto something because I never watched any of those shows. And I'm not that kind of person, this right kind of person. Instead, I watch Holy Hallmark, which is the flip side of it, because it's all about the heart. And I'm certainly not that kind of person to argue and carry on. No. I say no, move on.
I did an experiment in Chicago. There's a girl named Jasmine, and you really remind me of Jasmine, just on the way you look. I mean, she was just, anyway. So Jasmine used to, not an attitude, just physically. Jasmine would always come in, and she'd be like, right, always, not you, not an attitude, but just a look. So Jasmine always had an attitude. She was always getting into it with the other girls. So one day I asked her, I said, Jasmine, what do you do when you go home? She's like, shoot, I watched the Bad Girls Club. Woo, yes. See, Bad Girls Club. I said, what else do you watch? Love and Hip Hop. So she watched all these crazy shows. So I gave her a 2-week homework assignment. I said, Jasmine, for 2 weeks, I don't want you watching any of these reality shows. And at first she was like, man, I ain't gonna do it, that's dumb, that's stupid, I love my shows, I gotta watch my shows. I said, that means you're addicted to this ignorance. She was like, I ain't addicted to nothing. I said, clearly you are, because you can't go for 2 weeks without watching this ignorant show. So she said she's gonna do it for 2 weeks. Literally, 2 weeks later, Jasmine came into session. And I was like, where's Jasmine? She was like, I'm right here. I'm looking at her. I'm like, something different. What did you do? She said, nothing. I said, no, something is different. And she said, I just did my homework. I said, and literally in 2 weeks of not watching that garbage, Jasmine came in the room, she sat down, she was able to pay attention, and she was able to be herself. So many of you young people are watching images of things that you think is real, but those people are not even real. Those reality shows have producers, because a friend of mine is a producer. And they tell them that's not enough drama, we need more drama so we can get ratings up. So the more drama, the higher the ratings. The more fights, the higher the ratings. Why? Because for some reason, we as a people would rather see each other tear each other down than build each other up.
Like, when you say that, if we would have built each other up, what would the shows be like?
What would the shows be like? Okay, that's a good question. And I will answer, but I want someone else to throw out an answer first. She just asked a great question. Her question was, if we didn't have shows that tear each other down, what would the shows be like? And I'm almost hearing another question is, that just sounds boring to me. Who want to watch that? Right? All right, anyone want to throw out an answer before I answer?
Let's try to show positive instead of negative. And that's what we need a lot
But
of.
she's saying, what is it going to look like?
Well, if you could, it's like a positive reinforcement.
So in other words, I got you. So you said, I'll give you something. Right now in Chicago, we have some young entrepreneurial clubs. We have young students who are starting their own business. We can have shows highlighting the positive things that students are doing, because what that does is it encourages other students to be excellent and to be great. But if you only saw negativity, dumb, stupid, ignorant, fighting, then you think that's what's normal. So what has happened is, literally, when I graduated from college, I worked for Johnson & Johnson in sales and marketing. And literally, we can make you buy product that you didn't even come to the store to buy. So for instance, your mom goes to the grocery store and say, I'm only going to get some milk and eggs. She come back home with 2 or 3 bags of groceries. Yeah. Why? Because, listen to me, hello? Back. Because we marketed that to her. For instance, when you go to the store, we're playing with the radio. We're having, that fresh Coca-Cola. All of a sudden you think, man, I do want a Coca-Cola. You didn't go for a Coca-Cola, but we marketed that to you. Also, when you go to the store, we have end caps. End caps are buy one, get one free. Your mama didn't go to the store for cookies, but we just told her, you want some cookies, because if you buy one, you get one free. So what's happening now is the media industry, they're marketing garbage to us as a people. And we consume it. So the more we consume it, the more they sell it to us, to the point that, to your question is, man, if we didn't have this drama, what else would we watch? You would watch intelligent programming about black people doing positive, powerful things, and guess what that would do? It will make other black people want to do powerful and positive things. And it's all systematically designed and programmed for you not to want that, and not even to think it's possible. That's like wherever I go, I tell people in Chicago, they're like, oh man, you didn't get shot going to the airport? No. But somebody probably got shot that day, because 2 people get shot every day in Chicago. Okay? All right. Hold on. Okay, really quickly, and this is going to be it. We're getting ready to wrap it up. Be careful with your social media, okay? You guys know this guy right here? Who is he? Trayvon Martin, right? When Trayvon Martin hit the scene, his mother, and I met her in Chicago about a month ago, gave the world this picture. She said, this is my son. My son is an angel. He wouldn't hurt anybody. But when he went to court, the attorneys gave the world these pictures. So now, let me ask you a question. Is this guy a thug, just based on picture? No. No? What about this guy?
Yes.
What about this guy?
Yes.
Okay? Perception is everything. The attorneys for George Zimmerman went on Trayvon Martin's social media and pulled up the pictures that he posted. So some of y'all got stuff on y'all web. Boys holding guns, got money and all this crazy stuff, got grills in your mouth, trying to be something that you're not. You got to be very careful of your social media, because this is your first impression. This is you telling the world who you are. And if it's negative, they will assume you are a thug. They will assume you're something negative. You're looking at me in a certain way. What are you thinking when I showed this? What are you thinking? No, no? Okay, you just had a certain look. Okay? Say it again?
It follows them all the way to job interview.
Oh my goodness, yeah. Especially my high school students. When you get ready to go for college scholarship interviews, they ain't even looking at you first. They're looking at your social media. And if your social media is garbage, they're saying, we're not even giving this student money to come to my school. If you're going on job interviews, some of you are too young to even worry about this right now, but you want to be very mindful, okay? Now, 7 steps to success. Number 1, you got to decide today that you want to be successful. Don't wait, like we said earlier, until you're in high school. Don't wait until after high school. You have to make that decision today, okay? Number 2, maximize your time. That means all of this time on social media is a waste of time. When you're watching social media, what you're really doing is you're watching somebody else live their life because you're not living your own. Okay? So you want to live your life to its fullest. This may be a tough one, number 3. Spend 2 to 3 hours a night productively. It doesn't mean you have to always be reading a book, but do something positive, something powerful, something productive. Okay? Who can give me examples of something productive? Yes, sir.
Instead of going on social media, and some people think I find class, instead of going on social
Just give me one example of something powerful.
You can do brain power.
What is brain power?
Brain power is something that educates your brain to do even more stuff besides play video games.
Okay, so it can be flashcards or anything. Yes, sir.
Read a book.
Read a book. Give me an example of a good book. Said classic?
Classic.
Okay. Yes, ma'am.
Pick a right.
Another good book is like Honey by Michelle Obama.
Okay. Yep. Yep. Yes, sir.
Read a book in a field you're interested in.
Read a book in a field you're interested in. Why is that important?
Because you might want to do it when you become older.
Absolutely. Because a lot of times you may not know someone that's doing what you want to do. Well, you can create your own mentors and your own motivators. You can find those people virtually. Now it's easy. Was your hand up? Yes, sir. Go to the gym. Why is that powerful and positive? Absolutely. It gets you strong. It gets you out of the house. It gets you off the couch. Yes, sir.
Play a math game.
Play a math game. Okay. Why is that important?
Because it'll help you be better at math, science, reading, and you'll be better at what you're trying to encourage others to do.
Okay. Yes, sir. Go outside and play. Sometimes being outside and playing is important. But you don't want to be out there all day long when you're not doing the other things. Yes.
Take Udemy courses.
Take who?
Udemy courses.
What is Udemy courses?
They're like courses for to do different things. If you want to learn how to animate, then you go on Udemy.
Oh, anime.
Animate.
Okay. Okay. Yes, sir. Do some push-ups. How many push-ups do you do? 1. Yes, ma'am.
You could do something if you have like siblings. You could play like a board game instead of playing like video games.
Okay, absolutely. Absolutely, because therefore you're creating more family time, family interactions, more family fun. Okay, yes.
You can play a game called Prodigy.
Prodigy, what is that?
It's a math game where you can learn all sorts of stuff, and you can learn things that are in your brain.
Okay, you guys are super sharp. Anything over here? Something you do positively? Yes. Yeah, anything you can do positive. So that means you just be wasting a lot of time, huh? Okay. All right. Next thing, especially my high schoolers, get in, okay, respect your teachers, right? Respect for your education. Get involved with something at school, whether it's the debate team, the speech club, playing an instrument, maybe a sport, it could be on the newspaper, something you want to get involved with leadership, okay? Develop a success plan. That simply means my brother who said he wants to be an engineer or architect. You have to know what it takes to get there. A lot of times young people say pretty words like I want to be a astro science something, and one, you can't even spell it. If you can't spell it, you can't become it. So if you want to be an anesthetist, you need to know how to spell that word. And anesthesiologist, whatever that word is, somebody gave you. All right? First, you got to know how to spell it. Two, you have to know what it takes to get there. And if you don't know, you guys have adults in this room. You have counselors to help you navigate that. And the last thing is you have to have knowledge of yourself, your history, and your culture. That's so important. I wish I had more time to get into that, but I don't. But what I want to tell you really quickly is having knowledge of yourself and your history and your culture, you will know where your ancestors come from. Because what they teach you in school is that all thinking and all thought started in Greece and Rome.
No.
That is a lie. It started in Africa. It started where?
It started where life started.
It started where life started. Where did life start? Right here in Africa. Whether you're black, whether you're white, whether you're Hispanic, all life started right here with your ancestors. But what people will do is they will misinterpret history and teach you something that is not fully true. They'll teach you that your ancestors were slaves. They were enslaved, but they did not come to this country as slaves. So that's something you guys have to understand. Oh, shoot, my thing keeps jumping, all right? All life began here. And as people began to move and migrate, different skin complexions, different hair complexions, everything began to change, okay? So, when we look here at the original builders of the pyramid, these are the people that it look like. How do I know this? This is me right here in Egypt. This is my hand against the hieroglyphs right here. And I'm showing you that these people are brown and black people. Why would they paint them this way if they didn't look that way? And unfortunately, in your history books, they don't show you these as the Egyptian people. But this was like 6,500 years BC, before Christ. All right? What you get in your history books is Greece and Rome, Plato, Aristotle, they were great thinkers, but long before they started thinking, people were building pyramids, your ancestors. Also, the first university was in Africa, Timbuktu, built by the Tuareg people. If you saw the movie Black Panther, Ryan Coogler was so powerful is that all the characters that you saw in that movie were real life people. The Zulu, the Himba, the Tuareg, the Igbo. These are all African traditions and cultures, and they're ancient civilizations. I wish I had time to get into it because I have a whole presentation on the Black Panther. So, the Persians, right? China, Mayan empires. Every group of people had a chance to rule civilization, but most people didn't do a very good job at it, so they lost their power. And then we had 1619. So think about this. This is what they teach you about your history. 1619, that you were slaves. But long before you were slaves, you were building pyramids. So the question is, you get to decide who you want to be. If you want to be the scientist and the mathematician that you said you wanted to do, you can do that because you can't build pyramids without knowing science and math. Now, this is Africa. My brother said all life started here. A lot of the advancements took place in Egypt, right? This is me. What is this?
The Sphinx.
The Sphinx. What is this?
The pyramid.
The pyramid. What country am I in?
Egypt.
Egypt, right? So this is me. Inside the pyramid, they have the shaft that goes down. I went down into the shaft of the pyramid. When I went down into the shaft of the pyramid, they had these pictures. Why are these people brown? Because they were brown, right? Or black. Why was this person blue?
He was a god. That's Pharaoh.
Why is she blue?
Because she's blue.
Think about that. Think about that. Now, the older folk in the room have heard the word blue-black. Younger folk, y'all probably haven't heard that. But this person is considered Osiris. That was considered God, right? In Egyptian texts. Why is this person blue? Because when I was in the Sudan, there are people so dark that they look blue, right? And what's funny is, in America, the darker you are, the more we make fun of you. But when God said, let's create man, This is what he created and woman. So what has happened in this country is we've been taught to hate black and love white. That's the power of white supremacy and racism. You can be taught to hate your own self and your own color and wish you just woke up, man. I saw your whole life just turn on. All right? So that's why you need to know your history. You need to know your culture. You need to be proud of who you are. Because now when you go to Egypt, this is what you see. When I was there, they're literally sandblasting the colors off the walls. Why is that? Who can tell me why? Someone I haven't heard. Yes?
They don't want you to know that the people that built it, the people that were black.
Absolutely. They don't want you to even know that you were the Egyptians, you were the builders of the pyramid. Because if you knew you built the pyramids, then now you can't say I don't know science and I don't know math. Because you are science and you are math. That's what's so powerful about you. Once you understand who you are, all this ignorance, fighting each other, gossiping, beating each other up, it ends. It ends immediately. Because you guys were made in the image of God. Who can tell me what is this? I know you don't know. All right? I'm going to come back to that. What did King Tut look like?
He was blind.
What does he look like in your school books? This is what they give you in your school books, right? Here's what's crazy. Now this is the math. This is what they tell you in the school books. This is the British reconstruction of King Tut. This is the American reconstruction of King Tut. But this is what was found in the tomb.
That's him?
This was him in the tomb. All right? Talk to me.
He looks like he's like made out of mold or something.
He was a kid. He was a teenager, about some of your age. All right? So, let me ask you this question. If King Tut was a black teen, why does American have him look like an old big-head white man? It makes no sense. That's white supremacy. Anything that's powerful, they want you to believe this is what it looks like. That's why some of you worship a God that looks like this. But I ain't gonna go there. This is what it originally looked like. Okay? These are the exact replicas. Some of you sisters with braids in your head. There's nothing new about that. Your ancestors were rocking braids 60, 6,000, 8,000 years ago. All right? This is the royal chair. This is the exact replica of King Tut. This brother looks more like you than anybody else in this room. But I guarantee you, somebody told you that your black is ugly. I guarantee you, somebody made fun of you. I guarantee you that there's been a time that you felt bad about being dark-skinned. Am I right or wrong? Have you been teased about it? Why? Okay. Well, I'm glad you didn't feel bad. Yes, sir.
When I was growing up, I watched The Wizard of Oz, and the good witch was always white, and the bad witch was black. So it's like me ingrained that, you know, white is pure and good, and black is evil.
And remember when I just told you about marketing? It's intentional. Devil's food cake is black, angel food cake is white. It's been ingrained in us, intentionally fed to us over and over again. And once you see it and they change the images, then you believe these images must be true. So then you have light-skinned people not liking dark-skinned people, and dark-skinned people not liking light-skinned people. All of that is slavery. All that is a plan of the enemy to get powerful people warring against each other when it makes no sense at all. Okay? All right, we got to get ready to wrap up. So what is this? What is this? You call it the Washington Monument, but this is an Egyptian symbol that's all over Egypt. So then the question is, how are so many African symbols in America and you don't even know about it? What is this? Where is the pyramid in America? On the back of the dollar bill. All right? The one with the eye. You guys say, ooh, that's the Illuminati. It has nothing to do with the Illuminati. This symbol was here way before the Illuminati. But what happens is, just because someone takes an image and try to pretend like it's theirs, it doesn't make it theirs. Illuminati means this. Illumin means to light. Nati means not. So Illuminati means hidden from the light. So if I'm in the Illuminati, I'm not telling you who I am. So a lot of you guys listen to these stupid rappers talking about stuff they don't know what they're talking about. I'm an Illuminati. No, you're not. No, you're not. All right, so you have to be careful. This symbol right here is the symbol of harvest. How do you know this stuff?
I just learned.
Man, you are really
I
smart.
just learned very smart. My mom wanted me to be more intensely smart in second grade. Just
Well, this is what I want you to do. I want you to hug your mama when you get home today, okay? Until I said thank you, all right? So anyway, many of these images, the Lincoln Memorial, they stole it from Africa. This was King Ramesses' temple. This was built 1257 BC, 3,000 years before this was built, okay? So you got to know who you guys are. Also, sisters, this is Queen Hatshepsut's temple. This sister said, yo, the brothers building their temples, they're creating their carvings. I want my own temple too. So she built her own temple from the rocks, from the mountain. She had to know science and mathematics in order to do this.
Wait, she did that herself?
Queen Hatshepsut was also a pharaoh. Men were not the only pharaohs, women were as well. So she had her architects, her engineers to build it. She didn't hand carve everything, but she was a part of having it built. Okay? And when you're a pharaoh, you don't get out there doing all the dirty work. That's why you have people do that work for you. Okay? All right. I think that's it. We don't even have time. Yes, sir.
I have one question about the Black Panther.
Yes.
So in the movie of the Black Panther, the rhino, is that real?
The rhino was not real. But the rhino is a real, there are real rhinoceros in the world, but that rhino is animated. Okay? Are there any other questions? Because I know you guys got to be ready for lunch. And yes, sir. When who was speaking what language? Oh, okay. In the Black Panther, you mean? Yes, those were real languages, and some of them were South African languages because some of it was Tree that they speak in Nigeria, and some of it was, you may have heard, like people with the click. That's the South African dialect. Okay? Any other questions? And we don't have time to get into the Black Panther. Let's see. Is the Black Panther African? In the movie he was. All right? So, we're done? Okay, listen up. Last thing. Thank you guys very much, because it's been 2 hours that you guys have been sitting, listening, learning, participating. My brother, man, I'm so glad that you, man, I'm so proud of you, brother. You just don't have a clue. Thank you guys very much. I appreciate this opportunity. Thank you, Brother C-Ron, for this opportunity, and I hope you have a wonderful summer.
What do you guys say, Mr. Bryant?